If you stop believing in fairy tales, bust out your Kleenex box. This success story had me in tears when I read it, and I know it's going to do something similar for you, at least touch a nerve of love, joy, success. It has all the elements of a dream come true, like a fairy tale, like a rom-com movie. Literally, this happened to this woman in less than 9 days, and you are going to be amazed at the power that she stepped into once and for all, and how her entire life has now changed for the better. Welcome, my name is Rose, and welcome to The Rosey Life, where we help you free your mind and follow your heart so you live a life that you love. If you're interested in working one-on-one with me, go to RoseyLife.com, or you can join the Rosey Life course and community, where we meet weekly live for our Q&As on Wednesdays, and there is a 12-part course in there, self-paced, for you to start going within and looking within and focusing on within, where all your power lies. It's not out here, you guys. Nothing's out here. It's all within you. All right, so let's get started. This is going to be probably a little bit longer of a video, you guys, and I promise you, stay to the end, because it's going to knock your socks off. Like, you guys, I ran out of wise boards. I'm going to have to read part of their email because it couldn't all fit on my two little boards, because I couldn't leave any of this out because it's so freaking good. All right, so let's get started. So first of all, she reached out to me on July 7th. Yep, 7/7. We already know what that means. So this is part of what she said. Her email's pretty long, so I'm not going to read it all or include it all, but these are the really goody nugget parts, okay? So this person, she's not a client. She just emailed me and reached out, and she said, you explained things in a few minutes that's taken me 8 years to integrate, like on a deep level. She said, she's currently facing a gigantic problem. The wording in this first email was just like all like horrible problem, pressure, everything that could go wrong. She was describing it to me. Facing a gigantic problem. She says, need to raise $2,500 by Monday or I'm evicted. She said my work is not well. She said it was doing well, and then it tanked, was not doing well. She said she's been looking for jobs. She's been putting her CV out, and she's not having any luck. She said, I'm scared, and I've tried it all. In other words, she's tried she's working, she's applying for jobs, she's doing the best that she can. She's connecting, networking with old friends, old coworkers. She's been like manifesting. She says, I know my power. She says nothing is working. She said, Rose, I've tried it all. And she said, being homeless with my son, she has a small son, I guess, and a cat. She said it's terrifying to her, she said, because she said, I don't even have a car to sleep in. So she can't even be homeless in a car because she doesn't have a car to sleep in with her son and a cat. And so she says, I have until Monday. She says, Monday is almost here. So she says, I've been binge watching your channel ever since. Okay, so she just found me. This person just found me like less than 2 weeks ago, and she reached out with us email. And my response, and she also mentioned that her landlord is cool, and he's been letting her float, like pay bi-weekly instead of everything in full. But it was like enough. You have to pay now, because you hadn't been able to pay. So when I responded to her, I said, remember, we always begin at the end. What is it that you want? And that's where you begin. And I also suggested to her, because I read her long email, and the thing that stuck out to me was the good. That's the thing that I've gotten really good at, is seeing what's good instead of looking at all the problems and obstacles and the time and issues, right? And she said, I suggested to see her landlord as proof of her good, that he's been helping her out and letting her slide for the rent. I said, well, that's evidence, that's proof that your good is there. But she wasn't seeing it. And she responded to me and replied to me and said, I didn't see that as proof of anything. She said, I thought he was really nice, but she says, you're right. It is proof that my good is here with me now. Do you see? So, and then she said, also, she says, I met a cute guy. And she said that hit on her, and she thought he's cute and he thought she was cute. And he wanted to go out with her. And she said, no. She said, no. She said, I'll be your friend, not friends with benefits, just friends, she says, because I'm not good at dating or relationships. And so in other words, I put here in parentheses, she pushed her good away. If you guys have seen that video, and I talk about this, is how we are pushing our good away and not even aware. And that's what she was doing. And I'll link that video below because I love that video, you guys. It's about cheerophobia, which is nonsense. It's not true. But how we're just so used to taking leftovers, and how we're used to just not and being unhappy and used to being unsatisfied because that's what we think is normal. Do you see? So she pushed her good away and pushed away the guy. And then he asked her, he's like, why are you saying that you're not good at dating? And she just like couldn't answer. So she said she went home and asked herself as she went to sleep, she says, why do I think those things about myself? She couldn't even give herself a reasonable answer, and she fell asleep. I'm telling you guys, it's like a movie. Get ready. At 3:33 a.m., hello, another number of perfect completion. These are biblical numbers, by the way, and I wrote down here 3, 7, 10. They're all numbers of perfect completion. At 3:33 a.m., she wakes up with the answer. She's woken up and it feels like a lightning bolt hit her, okay? And she felt like the answer was poured through me like a knowing. I love that she used that word, that it was poured through her like a knowing, that those feelings and thoughts were all unfounded lies. I was believing in a lie was her realization, that she wasn't good at relationships, she wasn't good at getting money, she wasn't good at having money, she wasn't good at all these things. I was believing in a lie. These were all beliefs and thoughts about herself. Do you see? I knew only my perspective could I experience. So from that moment on, she said, I realized, she says, that it was my perspective of myself, or like that video I made, in my opinion of myself, that is what you will experience. And she's walking around and believing these things about herself, and that's why she was experiencing them. And when she thought to herself, why do I believe this? And she realized, I'm believing in a lie. That's not true. Why? Because I am love. I am God. That's all there is. There is nothing but love. There is nothing but God. It's all me. It's all mine. It's all good. It's all God. It's all love. It's all now. Do you see? She got it. She was woken up with the answer. I just love this, you guys. Okay, so she says, now, she says, I'm creating through sheer desire alone and nothing more. In other words, she says she's creating, she realizes that her desires, whatever comes through her as a desire, is what is going to happen next for her. She now sees that her desires are what's up next. You know, people ask you, you're like, what are you doing tonight? Like, that's what your desires are. What are we doing next? Your desire is telling you what's up next, but only you can say no to it and say, but how, but when, but where is it? And that's what keeps it as bay, because now you're trying to control how it comes, when it comes. She sees now, I am creating through sheer desire. Anything that she desires, it just is coming through her now. The landlord contacted her and said to her, this is after her waking and realizing all this stuff. Look what happens to her. Just because she has this realization, just because she has, this realization about herself, that it's her perspective and that she is God and she is love and it's all hers. The next day, she still is contacted by the landlord and saying that the internet and the power is going to be cut off. And so even though she stepped into her power, okay, the 3D was showing her the opposite. So think about when you guys, you have your realizations, you know who you are, you've made an assumption, you've affirmed what you want, who you are, and the 3D shows you the opposite. Look, this is the difference of how you know how you're reacting. Okay, this is the difference, is how you're reacting. She could have reacted and said, oh my God, you know, that was all dumb, that waking up in 3:33, what did that do? That didn't do anything. Cool, yeah, but still I'm in the same boat. She didn't do that, right? Because she leaned in hard into who she is rather. Her reply was, don't worry, I'll have the money for you by the end of the month for sure. She didn't know. She had no evidence. She didn't know. She didn't know where the money was going to come from. She didn't know how the money was going to come to her. She didn't have any evidence. She had no one calling her and saying, here's some money. She had nothing. She was like about to be evicted. She didn't know, but she responded with conviction, with a knowing of who she is, that those lies are unfounded, and who she really is the I am. She is love. She is unconditional, pure love, and that anything she wants and desires is hers. So she spoke with authority, as the authority, and said, don't worry, I'll have the money for you by the end of the month. All right, and then what happens, okay? And then she says, her affirmation, right? She even emailed me and said, this is what I'm going to affirm. And she says, do you think that this is good? And my answer to all of you, I'm going to say the same thing, so I'm going to say it now. Whatever affirmation you come up with, whatever your assumption is, whatever your end is, you're right. That is the right one. Because if it feels right, and it feels like that's the outcome you want, then yes, I would say the same thing to all of you. Yep, that's the right one. It's the right assumption. Because I can't tell you what to assume. I can't tell you the right words to affirm. I can't tell you what the correct language it is. I don't even know how you talk. I don't know how you think. I don't know how you see your perspective of you. So I can't tell you what to think, because a lot of people are asking me, what do I affirm for this or that? And the answer is always you. What do you see yourself in the end? And that's what I told her. Go to the end. What is it that you want? And get clear on that. And once you get clear on that, stand down on that. And that's what she did. So her assumption was, I am safe and paid up. And she said, I just feel total trust and see it as now, not later. She sees it as now. It's happening now. And she said it felt so good, right? Look at this. This is so, so beautiful. Okay, so... And I love, because okay, so wait, before I move on, I have to read you the rest of the success story, because this is going to blow your mind. You guys get ready. Okay, so she said, then after the landlord thing, about an hour later, I was speaking to my friend, the cute guy, and he said he'd help me, and he's okay to wait for me to pay him back. He also took me today to go to buy a wardrobe to go back to office work, and not just cheapy stuff. I mean like proper gorgeous pieces, so I will look the part in my profession. I was blown. Gets better. And more so yesterday. This is where the goosebumps just came over me. She said, and more so yesterday, I saw a song on YouTube that is considered to be the most mysterious song ever. I don't know the song, but I'm going to get it for you guys if I can. I can't promise. Apparently, for the last 30 years, people have wondered who recorded this song that's been playing on YouTube without an author. No one knew who this song was, but it's been playing on YouTube and considered to be the most mysterious song ever for 30 years. So she said, I heard it. And she said, so I clicked on it to hear it. And my God, she said, it's my father's song. Seriously, my sweet pops wrote and recorded that when I was a toddler in the 80s in his studio. I'm blown. So I called the record company today and I'm waiting for the details, but there are royalties on all the playtime it's gotten over the years and years and years. Oh my word. And even more strange, I had a dream about 5 months ago where I was in this kind of flat, the one she's in, with white window frames, and the window was open, and I could hear his music coming from another flat below. I swear, we only moved here 3 months ago, and the exact space we are living in now is the one from my dream. How wonderful. What a beautiful story. And what I love is that what I love about this is not only is she now going to receive all those royalties for 30 years, okay? Talk about, all right? But what I love is that she clicked into here on that YouTube link for the song, and I love what she says. I clicked on it, and my God, it's my father's song. She's talking about her physical 3D father, right? But what I was when I was reading it, what clicked for me was, it is my father, my heavenly father's song, singing praise in abundance to me. Whoo! You guys don't have the goosebumps yet? I don't know how you will, because this is that Malachi 3:10. See if I won't throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that you don't have room to store it. I ran out of room. Do you see that? That's in Malachi 3:10. Do you see what she did? And when she was hit by like lightning at 3:30 a.m., the answer poured through me. See if I won't throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing. This girl's getting poured on, rained on with blessings in 9 days, you guys. All of this went from her, all of this, everything that I'm telling you guys, it went from gigantic problem, needing to raise $2,500 by Monday or I'm evicted. I don't even have a car to sleep in with my cat and my son. Do you see this? It was so funny that she contacted me on July 7th, 7/7, right? Because again, 7 is a word for completion, and I have yet another success story with that same date. And I'm going to share that in another video, but my wonderful God, look at that. Look how perfect it is. It couldn't be more perfect. Can't you guys see that this could even become a movie, right? It could become like a movie in itself. It's a fairy tale with the guy, him buying her a whole new wardrobe. It was like looking like she was going to live out in the street with her dog and her son, and now she's in this whole new space. And then the job thing is working out, because that was another part of her email, that she's connected. Everything is just flooding her existence. Why? Because she went within, and even though it looked dim and grim, she went to the end and said, what did she say? She said, I am safe and paid up. Yeah, I would say she's safe. I would say she's paid up, and she's going to continue to be paid up. Do you see? Look at that. So when we turn within, everything looked doom and gloom. The how was in her face. Like, how is this going to happen? The worst things that she could possibly imagine were going on in front of her. She was scared. She was panicking. She was having like panic attacks, I think she was saying in her email even. Do you see? She was just not seeing a way out of this at all. And what did she do? She went within. And she turned to the Father within and said, this is who I am, and trusted that this is here, that this is now. And that is what happened with her. I hope you all enjoyed this video, because you guys, this is probably the first email success story that I got where I actually got teared up. well, and I was shivering of joy for her. And I was just so happy, so happy for her. And thank you so much for sharing your story with us here on The Rosey Life. For the woman that wrote me, thank you so much. It's such a beautiful story, and I cannot wait to see how more unfolds for you in a perfect way. So thank you guys for liking the video. Thank you for subscribing to The Rosey Life. Thank you guys so much for your love and support. I feel it more and more every single day, and I appreciate you all so much. And I will see you all very soon with more wonderful videos. All right, bye.